have Aaron Rodgers. The New York Jets have Super Bowl dreams, Super Bowl expectations. And joining us on the show today is one of the greatest Jet fans out there. The great, the legendary Fireman Ed joins the show. So let's hit it and get it started. Damn, does it feel good to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
It's another freaking game. Y'all pump your asses off. That was awesome.
Hey, I'm as hungry as you guys are. I know it's been a long time since we've been in the playoffs, even longer time since we've been in the Super Bowl. But I promise you, I'm as hungry as you guys are, and I'm excited to meet you all and to be a part of something special this year. So come along for the ride.
Hit it! We have Garrett Wilson. Let's freaking go. We have Brees Hall. We are ready to win. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have an elite defense. You're welcome on the Jet bandwagon. Now, let's talk about the New York Jets. This is the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. And man, that intro has me fired up every time I see it. But knowing who our guest is today, I'm even more fired up. The great Fireman Ed joins the show. My guy, what's going on? Appreciate you making some time for us.
How you doing, Jake? Listen, the smiles on our faces. Look at us. We're a little weak. We're just about a little over a week into this thing. Oh, baby.
Man, I mean, I can't even imagine what's going through your mind as this trade gets done. Fast forward to the press conference, Fireman Ed, and we got to play this for those who maybe didn't catch it live.
Driven are you to win for this fan base, which hasn't been to the playoffs since 2010, the longest stretch in professional sports for the 4 different leagues right now?
I mean, it's exciting. The Jets have an incredible, passionate fan base. I saw that last year at Lambeau. Obviously, you know about Fireman Ed and you know, his passion for the team. I think that's an exciting draw to this as well, as being a part of something special. I grew up watching old VHS tapes of the Super Bowls, and so obviously I know about the guarantee and Broadway Joe. Been a while since then. I noticed walking in this morning that Super Bowl III trophy is looking a little lonely. So
it is looking a little lonely, and my God, Ed, what did that mean to you, man? Quarterback number 1, QB1, number 8 on the field is shouting you out in his intro press conference.
You know what? That's just an honor, man. I mean, just a true honor. When we were in Green Bay last year, the Jet faithful showed up in force. I mean, there had to be 20,000 fans there. And, you know, we, like Aaron said, we smoked them. And that's how he said it. He said, we smoked them. And, you know, the fans were just wild. We had done a couple of Jet chants after the game. And, you know, it was pretty wild, you know. And, of course, Sauce was walking around with the cheese head. And because one of the fans, Jet fans, gave him it. And, you know, needless to say, what Aaron said about him after that game, what Aaron was talking, he was talking very highly about the Jet team. He said, that's a team right there, a young, vibrant team. So, needless to say, I mean, how blessed are we? The football gods have finally gave us something. Now, what we want, we don't want you to end there. We want you to keep us healthy. Keep us healthy. And let's see what we can do here.
So talk to me about the actual last couple months for you as a diehard fan of this team. I saw some of your Instagram video that you posted earlier that you weren't always so sure the Jets were going to be able to land Aaron Rodgers. So kind of walk us through your emotions these last couple months as all this is unfolding.
Yeah, well, you know, when the Jets had said that they were going to go out and get a veteran right after the season, my first, you know, I think I talked to you about this. My first thought was Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr came with no price tag. Derek Carr is a young quarterback, and I think he's got plenty. I mean, he's a stud as far as I'm concerned. And I thought that was the route that they would go. As I look back on it, I don't think Derek Carr wanted to be here. Honestly, I don't think he wanted to be here, and I really think that the Jets were all about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we as fans, Jake, we don't have the access to see exactly what their mindset is. But as we look back on it in a timeline, you start to say, wait a minute, this is why. They really never pursued Derek Carr to the point. If they really didn't want him out of that building, they probably could have landed something. But, Boomer Esiason said something on his show early on. And he said that Derek Carr wasn't cut out for New York. That's just how he felt. He felt like that was not going to happen, and it wasn't a good match. My problem was, Jake, I thought that it was going to cost us a lot more compensation for Aaron Rodgers. I know what they were saying, and we're not going to give a one, and we're not going to do this. Listen, this guy has got plenty left in the tank, and you get a guy that's got a chip on his shoulder. Now, of course, listen, we're going to go back in time, right? Okay, so he goes into the darkness. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. Maybe he is going to retire, because he did say 90% of he was thinking about retiring. Right? He comes out. What does he do? He gets aggravated. I guess when he was in there, he was probably saying, these guys, what they did to me, let's face it, it was a crime what they did to him. I mean, I don't know who had that pattern of thought in the Green Bay organization that you decide you're going to draft Jordan Love when this guy just brought you to the championship game, and then you pissed him off and he got 2 MVPs, and you didn't help him. And you didn't help them. You never helped them. So it's all a gift for us. And ultimately, listen, like I said on my Instagram, right, Fireman Ed 42 today, on Instagram, I said, listen, I just didn't think it was going to happen because I thought the compensation ultimately was going to be too much. You were hearing all kinds of things with Douglas, and we're going to get him. But until it actually happens, Jake, it doesn't happen. It's got to happen. You got to actually hear it. And then on April 24th, 2023, at approximately, in my mind, was 4:38. You can give and take whatever minutes, but I say it's 4:38. It was official. The trade was official. And needless to say, look at what we're talking about. We could go on and on and on and on and on. So, and we will.
That we will. And, just from the standpoint of being a fan of this team, especially the last decade, I mean, last in every offensive category, like we had to try and convince ourselves as fans, maybe we could get a break here or there. Or maybe, Sam Darnold could take that next step, or Zach Wilson could take that next step. And it's like, for the first time since really the 2010 or going into the 2011 season, there is legitimate Super Bowl expectations for the Jets. And if you're a Jet fan, it's not crazy to actually talk about having a team that can win it all.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. The only thing that makes me nuts is when I hear Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust. Every team goes into the year looking for the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl. Forget about Super Bowl or bust. It's World Championship or bust. You want to say World Championship bust? Well, that's all a joke. That's what teams do that are threatened by other teams. Right now, we are now the hunted, and we are threatening the haters. All right? And I'll always, and listen, the greatest line that one of the greatest tight ends that ever played the game, Rob Gronkowski, said, I'll never forget it, and I loved it. It was the first time I ever heard it. He goes, they hate us because they hate us. And that's the truth. It's the truth. So it's the same way. That's how I feel. And Rodgers brings a whole nother level, not only excitement, but reality. It's reality. You got a quarterback that when he is, I played golf with a kid the other day. He was a Minnesota Viking fan, okay? And this gives you the perspective because it comes from the black and blue division. He says, you know what my biggest thing with Aaron Rodgers is? He said, when he would come on the field, I never felt secure on a lead or anything. He goes, when he comes on the field, he's threatening. And it's like, you're just never comfortable. And that was the word he used. You're never comfortable when that guy's on the field, because what he is, he's comfortable. When he comes on the field, he's very comfortable. He's just feels like he's going to win the game. And we haven't dealt with that. I don't think I've ever dealt with that since I'm a fan, and I'm a fan 50 years, or season ticket holder this year, will be 50 years. I cannot remember a quarterback that I said, this guy just gives that aura. I'm not saying we didn't have good quarterbacks. I'm saying there's a difference. This guy is an all-time great.
No doubt. And just the way he has gone about his first week here, I'm giddy hearing him on Pat McAfee yesterday saying it's a dream come true. He's had to pinch himself a couple times. Seeing him with Sauce Gardner, who's half his age at the Knick game last night, sitting courtside. The knock on Rodgers in Green Bay is, he doesn't really hang out with his younger teammates anymore. He's hanging out with Sauce Gardner courtside at MSG. He's hanging out with Breece Hall, and Alan Lazard is his guy. And now you bring in a veteran today in Randall Cobb to help mentor these guys. Like, he is all in being a Jet. He ingratiated himself to the history of the franchise, which I know is something that's huge for you, Fireman Ed. So just your thoughts on just what Rodgers has done so far before he's even thrown an actual pass that counts with the Jets.
Well, the first thing is Aaron Rodgers, understand something, Jake. Aaron Rodgers picked us. He picked the Jets, which right there is thrilling in itself. Because in a normal year, there'd be 6 or 8 AFC teams vying for Aaron Rodgers. Timing is everything in life. We not only have a young, vibrant team that we drafted very well. Joe Douglas has done a great job. Robert Saleh forming the team, right, with the defense in his second year, going from 32nd to top 5, all right? All these things had to come into play. And here's Aaron Rodgers coming to the podium and talks about our Jet history and talks about going with VHS tapes and looking at the Super Bowl and mentioning the Super Bowl trophy in Florham Park that looks awful lonely. I mean, I had buddies of mine. I'm 63 years young. I have buddies of mine that now understand at 29, at 9 years old, I wasn't a Jet fan. But there was other guys that are a little older than me that were, don't name it. And they called me up. I hadn't heard from these guys in years, saying how excited they were that he brought up all of the Jet history. Oh my God. What he's done to this fan base, he's reached out to everyone. And he's going to continue to reach out to more people as it goes along, because he really does want to know all about us, because he's all in. When you hear him say he wants to know the janitors, he wants to know the chefs, and he wants to go upstairs, he's going all over the facility. This is a man that believes in what he's doing. He's on a mission. He's on a mission like we've been on a mission for 54 years. He's on a mission. And, Jake, like I tell everybody, enjoy the journey, because the journey started once again on April 24th, 2023, at the approximate time of 4:38.
Let me ask you this about the jersey number 8. You know my dad well, and by the way, the fact that I've had a career in sports media now going on 15 plus years, and I've interviewed a bunch of really big names, but the name my dad cares the most about is the guy that we have on the show right now, Fireman Ed.
I love that. I had such a good time there.
I know it meant a ton to someone like my dad, who grew up idolizing Namath when they were season ticket holders at Chase Stadium. That's why my grandpa passed it down to my dad, and he passed it down to me. I know it meant a lot to the older Jet fan that Rodgers went out of his way, even though Namath said it's cool to wear 12, but he chose to wear 8 instead. What did that mean to you? Did you care if he wore 12? Did you mind it at all because Namath said it was all good? But just your thoughts on Rodgers choosing to wear 8 instead of wearing number 12.
Listen, I thought it just shows the character that Aaron Rodgers is all about. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just has such respect for Joe Willie and the game of football that he just didn't feel comfortable wearing that jersey. He was honored that he even gave him an opportunity to be able to wear it, and Joe's still around and gave him that opportunity. But Aaron's just all class and said, no, it's okay because I'm honored, but I'll wear my college jersey from California, and it's a new era for Aaron also. And Aaron's talked about that. He had a great run of 18 years with the Green Bay Packers, which is a historic franchise. I mean, to me, the best, other than the Jet fan, obviously, who I love, the Green Bay Packer fan is outstanding. I've been up there twice. They're wonderful people. They just are. They're great people. I enjoy the venue in Green Bay, so I could fully understand why Aaron Rodgers has love for them. Now, at the same token, they did him wrong at the end, and that's not the fans. That's the organization, what they did to him. So when they show, he hasn't been to OTAs and, listen, he was scorned. He was smacked in the back of the head without even knowing it. I mean, they didn't even get in touch with him when they drafted Jordan Love. I mean, they hit him with a ball-peen hammer as far as I'm concerned. They just took out of the bag, they went like this, bang, and hit him over the head. He was like, what the hell? So, of course, his whole mindset changed. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I mean, we're intense on what we do, Jake. You're intense on what you do. I'm intense on what I do. So is he, in all different levels, obviously. I mean, his level is quite higher. But the point being, when listen, life is all about allegiance. It's about allegiance. It's about trust. It's about honor, right? It's about loyalty. How would a Packers loyal to him? They weren't loyal to him. They were absolutely not. They're lucky he gave a couple more years. He should have went immediately. I want out of here. Get me out of here. Let's go. All right. So we are lucky and blessed to have a man that decided, and this is my biggest thing out of all of this, that he chose us. He chose the New York Football Jets. He chose us. I notice when I say the New York Football Jets, there's another team that doesn't like when I say that. It's too effing bad. Because we are the New York Football Jets.
Have you pictured what MetLife is going to sound like for the home opener? Hopefully it's week 1. Hopefully it's, to me, I'll get your thoughts on this, Fireman Ed. I want to smash the Patriots week 1 in the worst way. I want blood. So that's my preference. But have you thought about what MetLife, regardless who the team is going to sound like the first game Aaron Rodgers plays with the New York Jets?
Listen, I agree with just what you said. Now, I think what's going to happen is we're going to wind up playing on Monday night against the Giants because it's 9/11, and we're playing the Giants away. They have the home game, so I see that's going to be the first one. I hope it's not, but I think it will be. I just think it's going to be, because we were home last year. So I think that's how they're going to work it. But we'll see. But I want the Patriots. 1,000,000%. Do I want the Patriots? When they ask me what team do I want, of course. I mean, they have. As well as I do, Jake, what they've done. They humiliated us. They've done so many different things to us through the years. Okay, run the score up. That Belichick, I call him clam face chowderhead. That's what I call him. Because he is. He's a clam face. He's got a clam face. He's a chowderhead. And that's why he's in Boston. And really, the bottom line, he ran up scores over 50 burgers, whenever he could. Dirty, rotten hits, hurt Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Probably, I think the same game was with Richard Seymour at halftime when they were saying it was a homecoming. It was a homecoming. Remember? Blew us out 45-3. Remember that? I think it was a Monday night game just before we beat them in the playoffs with Brady. That was back in 2011, I think. We went up there and they beat it. I mean, he's done so much. Listen, he says it like it is. He hates us. He outright. What did he do in the draft? He went up. He traded with the Steelers. All right, when he traded with us, it was down the line. He traded with the Steelers to purposely keep us from getting that tackle. Okay, so listen, there's a lot with him. Nothing would be better. Jake, we'll be together. Hopefully, it's the home opener, and I wanna put a 50 burger on him.
Yes, it needs to be done. And here's the thing for Belichick, as Steve Asman would refer to him, Fireman Ed. Since he's been a head coach without Tom Brady, he's missed the playoffs in 8 of his 10 years. You go back to the Browns days too, when Brady's not his quarterback. So he's gonna get his, man, because Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, and he's our quarterback now. He's coming.
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you something. Belichick, clam face chowder head listen, he's got no Tommy. Where's Tommy? Where's Tommy? Billy, where's Tommy? What happened to Tommy? Tommy, you know what happened to Tommy? Tommy went to Tampa in his first year and showed you when they said who is really the orchestra did all these world championships. And I used to laugh and I go, who orchestrated? Are you kidding me? That guy number 12 would come on the field and here we go. Here we go. We were firsthand knowledge of it. He's destroyed us numerous times. Listen, enough of them anyway. That's who I want to play like you do and smack them. Smack them good.
Let's talk about the draft. It wrapped up over the weekend. Your thoughts on Joe Douglas and his 2023 Jets draft class?
You know, Joe is amazing to me. As far as drafts go, you just don't know until it actually happens. I mean, even last year when we had, obviously probably our best draft we ever had, it'll probably go down as our best draft we've ever had.
No question.
They still got to play the game. They still got to play the game. So you don't know, as much as we talked about Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner, you still got to play the game. So it did come to fruition. I believe that this draft will it be as good? Probably not. Will it be a good, solid draft? 1,000,000%. The kid from Iowa State is going to be a stud. An absolute stud. That kid's got bend on him. That's ridiculous. Now, it's how they play him and what he already said. Not putting him inside. Outside. I mean, don't listen. Hey, you may see him stand up. You may see him as a linebacker at times. I mean, they're going to play that kid in a lot of different spots, I believe, with that defense. They're going to flop him. I could see that happening. I could see them having Carl Lawson on one side, Hoff on the other, and him on the outside. Everybody's coming.
No question.
Because they're going to have leads.
No question. And look, you're in the AFC. You need that fourth quarter. You need a Hall of Fame quarterback check. You got that. You need a fourth quarter pass rush to close out games. And McDonald on this defensive line, yeah, man. I think the Jet fans should be fired up. The more you watch his highlight tape, the more you see why Robert Saleh was salivating getting a chance to talk to this guy and put him in his wide nines defensive scheme. No doubt. I'm pumped.
You know what he has, the great, what I love about Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh is they love character guys. You see all these guys, they're character guys. All of them. Now you got Tippmann. They said that Mekhi Becton was a dancing bear. Let me tell you something. Tippmann is a dancing bear. I mean, that guy, the size of that guy, you see him. Did you see Baldy breaking his tape down?
Played it on the show.
Like, is that insane? That kid can move like that at 6'6", 315, 20 pounds. I mean, that is incredible. You see him with his girlfriend with the cowboy hat on. He looks like an Adonis. He's an Adonis. It's unreal. And then you got the kid. Do not count these two local kids out. You got the kid from Patterson, the Pittsburgh tackle, Warren. Listen, he got hurt, so his stock went down. That kid's got a lot of ability. And never mind that running back. That running back, the kid from Brooklyn in Lincoln High School. That kid, listen,
he's fast. Have you seen his highlights?
I'm excited. It's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. But once we actually didn't draft out of need. We drafted the best player like that's his philosophy. It so happens that, listen, that scouting department in the Jets is second to none. It's going to go down as in time. I mean, they put Rex Hogan is underrated. Rex, I love Rex. I yell at Rex all the time. Before the games, I see him. I go, Rex! I love Hogan. I love Hogan. He always smiles. He always laughs. I said, you're the man. You're the man behind the scenes. That's what I say to him. You're the man behind the scenes,
I love it. Rex Hogan getting a shout out from Fireman Ed. I was not expecting that, but I love that for Rex Hogan. Let me ask you this. Joe Tippmann, are you aware who his mentor has been in his in his career growing up? Did you see this story?
I don't think so.
So Joe Tippmann has been coached since he's been in 5th grade by former Jet offensive lineman Jason Fabini.
Oh, yes. I did see that. Yeah, Fabini. Oh, I love Fabini. Now, Fabini, I think, was a Cincinnati boy, wasn't he? Didn't he go to school in Cincinnati?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I think he did.
Let's see.
He went to Cincinnati.
You're probably right.
You can check it out, but I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he did. I love Jason.
You're right. Cincinnati.
Was, right?
Yep.
Thought so. Never. Yeah, I know. Jason, listen, I know Jason. I'm old. I'm an old timer. I know Jason. Jason knows me. I mean, I have a lot of fun with Jason. It was sometimes we used to, there was a lot of shout outs.
Love that. So looking at this team right now, and they made the addition with Randall Cobb today to solidify the wide receiver room. You got him, obviously, with Alan Lazard. They could teach the offense. You got Garrett Wilson, who's a stud. I love the signing of Mecole Hardman, the speed element he brings. I mean, I feel really good about the offensive arsenal around Aaron Rodgers. How do you feel if, let's say Randall Cobb was probably that final move they make before training camp in the summer?
I'll tell you, I don't be surprised if you see more moves. Billy Turner coming in, they are high on Billy Turner.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was a nice signing. That's an under-the-radar signing. Those guys, you see that clip with Aaron Rodgers when he was talking about when they had that run from like 20 and 21, and he was saying Billy Turner was the difference in the offensive line. I mean, listen, he's getting his guys in here. There's no question about it. And listen, Jake, this is far from done. You're going to see guys sign with this team. By the time the first game comes, we're going to revisit, because we'll talk, obviously, throughout this process. You're going to see that they're going to have guys signing. You're going to go, oh, whoa, where'd that come from? Because everybody's going to want to play with it. Just the way it is. And he's involved in everything. And he rightfully he should be. He absolutely 100% should be.
Brady did the same thing. No one says a word about that. It's like, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers does it. It's the Jets. It's like, did Tom Brady not go to Tampa and bring a bunch of guys with him and then win a Super Bowl? Like, come on now. That's how it goes.
Yeah, but that's just the writers being writers, man. Some of these guys just have an agenda. There's a lot of times I say to myself, some of our writers, and I'm not getting into because I have a rapport with some of them, but it seems like there's times where they just want the other foot to drop. Like, I don't get it. Like, how long are you going to keep us down? Don't put the foot on the neck. It's time. Listen, I said this to my Giant friends that I have some Giant buddies of mine. Oh, you guys think you're going to the Super Bowl and a whole bit. I said, listen, and remember this. This is our time. You had your time. You had plenty of times. You had plenty of times. I don't want to hear you. There's no hearing you. I don't want to hear you. You went to 5 Super Bowls. You won 4. Nobody wants to hear you. You're like the Steelers. We go on and on. Nobody wants to hear you. I said, it's our time. And we're going to have our time. Because we're long overdue with our time. Our time's 54 years, and we've been in the desert, and we have been wanting the water, and we keep searching for the water, and I believe that Aaron Rodgers has the water. He has the water, and we're going to follow him for the water.
The best. You are the absolute best. I know this fan base is salivating at the opportunity to watch this team this year. I mean, you mentioned tweaks to the roster. I'm with you. I think skill position wise, looking pretty good. Could be another move here or there. But there's two things I think they need to do before training camp this summer. One, re-sign Quan Alexander. He seems like he wants to come back. And two, find a big run stuffer up the middle next to Quinnen Williams, DT. And the guy I like is Shelby Harris. Al Woods is out there.
Al Woods.
Lindell Joseph. There's guys, and I know Douglas will do something.
There's guys out there, and there's going to be other guys that are going to get released. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen come July, August. And then you're going to see, all of a sudden, you're going to see these guys jumping on board when they start seeing number 8, flinging it all over the yard, and they're going to want to be a part of it. Remember, when you win, there's a lot of money involved. So, and along with, they want this. This is the main thing they want. Anybody that's got a heart wants that. And me and you want one of them. We want one of them.
Oh.
I want to walk around with one of them.
I mean, it's just, it's surreal. It's honestly surreal that I'm talking to you right now, and I could click this button and I can see Aaron Rodgers holding up a Jets jersey, and he wanted to do it. It's just, it will never stop being old for me.
That is, Jake, that is the biggest take that I get out of all of it. And that's why I say on my Instagram, and, I also do a podcast now I'm doing with Jason Capel and Rob Carpenter and Kevin Sirkin, NYJF podcast. It's on Thursdays. So give that a little shout out. They're great guys. Let me tell you something. I said this, the biggest thing that I'm more excited about is that Aaron Rodgers is buying in. He's buying in. That is like, I want to pinch myself. Like, who would believe that what you heard in this first little over a week, everything that you just check the boxes, start checking them. Well, before the trade, you were saying, well, I hope he comes out of the darkness and, he really does want to play for the Jets, and then on McAfee, he says, I want to play for the Jets. I was like this. I was in my living room. I jumped up. I went, mother. I said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm like, pinch me. And then, all of a sudden, TMZ's calling me, CBS is calling, ABC, and they're all calling me. And I said, I ain't walking until that trade is finalized. I said, till it happens, I don't want to know nothing. I said, and I didn't. I obviously did talk to the TMZ and Steve Goldberg. He's a good guy. He's a Jeff fan. I like that. And I said to them, when it happens, I'll talk. And let me tell you something. Rodgers coming here and then hearing that press conference. And these are all the boxes that I'm talking about that you check. You just keep checking them. And you go, oh, my God. And then I'm hearing from my buddies. And like your father, right? Older fella. Saying, oh, my God, embrace our past, understanding the what we're about, the suffering. What better could he say, Jake? And when he said, like nobody expected, when he says, I came into Florham Park, I looked over, he says, I seen the Super Bowl III trophy. He says, it looked a little lonely. Like, oh my God. I was like, crack some open. I gotta have one.
You know what? I can't get this fan base as hyped as you can, Fireman Ed, but I do have this to play for you because exactly what you're talking about. This is basically, if there's kids around, this is not safe for work, what Aaron Rodgers is about to say.
I'm as hungry as you guys are. I know it's been a long time since we've been in the playoffs, even longer time since we've been in the Super Bowl, but I promise you I'm as hungry as you guys are, and I'm excited to meet you all and to be a part of something special this year, so come along for the ride.
You kidding me? He's saying we. He's been a Jet for a week. He's saying we.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
It was our blessing, honestly, when you look back on us, and hopefully that's what we'll do in time. You'll look at just him going those 18 years, and, he's like a guy that was scorned, loved what he had, but was scorned, and knows he has a ton left in the tank, and says, you didn't want me? Watch.
Yep.
I'm gonna embrace I'm gonna embrace who did want me. This team loves me. They cherish me. They want me. You wanted me. You drafted me early on, but you forgot after all those 18 years. You forgot about 15 years in. All of a sudden, you forgot. You forgot I brought you to the World Championship. You forgot. You forgot all of those things that I did for you. I have love for the organization. I have love for all the people. But you, the people that are running the organization, you forgot. And what he did was he goes, he looked over and he said, there's another team in green that has a little white man, green and white, and they really want me. And I can't wait to play for them and win a world championship or 2 or 3. Let's start with 1 and see where we go.
I'll take
Let's
one.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm telling you, he's playing more than 1 year here, so it's possible. Anything is possible.
Listen, I had a buddy of mine that's big time football fan, called me out of the blue. All right, he's not a Jet fan. And he says to me, I've been watching Aaron Rodgers, very knowledgeable guy. He says, I've been watching Aaron Rodgers his whole career. He goes, I love him. He goes, I love what he brings. He's just a special quarterback. He goes, what they did to him, especially in the last 5 years, they gave him nothing. He says, and this guy is so good. He goes, Eddie, I'm going to make a prediction. I says, oh, Stevie, I hope you're right. He goes, I don't think he's going to play 1. I don't think he's going to play 2. He says, I think you're going to get him 3 or 4 years. He goes, and I think you're going to win multiple championships with him. And I said, Stevie, please, your lips to God's ears, the football gods, please, please. But I'll start with 1, then we'll talk. Let's get 1, and then we'll talk.
Hey, it just need 1. I mean, A-Rod said it last week. That Super Bowl III trophy is looking a little lonely.
Oh, baby. That man came out of the darkness and into the light. Let's go. He came out of the darkness and into the light. And you know what he seen when he came out of the darkness? He seen
Jets.
Come on, Aaron. Come on, Aaron. Come on, Aaron. The light's right here. He's right here, Aaron. He's right here. That's 80,000. Oh. And he looks to his left because they know what's coming. Jets. That's for you, Aaron. That's for you. And there's gonna be way more than that.
My God, the great Fireman Ed bringing it here on the show today. Ed, do you have some time? Do you have some time for some super chats from diehard Jet fans?
Absolutely, 1,000,000%.
Oh man, here we go. First one. This one comes in from James, who says, "Hey, Fireman Ed, what's your opinion on Zach Wilson? I think he could turn it around and at least be a Cousins type QB. Do you think Aaron Rodgers can fix him enough to get to that point? Kid has talent, just needs work."
I agree. There's no question Zach has talent. I mean, come on. You know he has talent. It's between the ears. As far as that book hasn't been written yet. I wouldn't close the book on it. I would not close the book. James, I would never close the book. We'll see. If anybody can help Zach out, it's Aaron. And Aaron has said that. Aaron says, I love the kid. So we got to get him right. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, he's got to take a seat over there. And he's going to wait at least a few years. And we'll see where it goes from there. So,
no question. And look, if he's ever going to turn into something, he's getting the best possible situation for him to
couldn't get any better for him.
Yep. Rat Diddy writes in, "Hey Jake, I'm headed to the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Heard Aaron Rodgers will be there. If I see him, I'm going to tell him to join the Jake Asman show sometime. Can't wait." Hey, if Aaron wants to come on the show, he has an open invite anytime. He can call Fireman Ed, and I'm sure Fireman Ed can take good care of him. Whatever Aaron needs, we got him on this show.
No doubt about it. I hope he goes on the Jake Asman show. Let's go. Maybe we'll both be on.
Man, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Oh, we'll fire him up. I'll tell you that, Jake. We'll fire him up. Not that he needs firing up.
Neil writes in, our guy Neil. Funny enough, our guy Neil here, I mean, he is one of the biggest Jet fans on the planet, and we have a mutual friend I found out today through my dad. So Neil writes in, Ed, best road win memory, 2000, Game 4 against Tampa Bay. The Curtis Martin pass for the win. We were down 17-6 in the fourth quarter and came back. I was with you going down the ramp after the game. We are going to do this all season on the road. See you soon.
Well, that game, Neil, you're right, pal. And listen, after that game, I think we were 4-0. I'm almost positive. And Tampa was hosting the Super Bowl that year. And I remember the Tampa Bay fans, if you remember, Neil, we were in the upper deck and they started doing a chant, Eddie, Eddie. And they were looking up at me, right? Because they were beating us 17-6. And when we beat them, I remember going like this. I jumped up and I went, where are you going? Where are you going? What happened to Eddie? What happened to Eddie? I said, by the way, I said, do me a favor. I says, we just beat you. I said, you're leaving? I said, just make sure you clean this place up because we're coming back for the Super Bowl. It didn't happen, but it went over big. That day it went over big, believe me. And that was like a comeback. That was Brian Cox. That was some team.
No doubt. That's one of the great wins they've had probably in the last 23 years.
I like that stadium. Tampa's a good stadium, real good.
Dre writes in with a super chat. Home opener, Aaron Rodgers, 25 of 32, 422 yards, 3 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, 9 of 11 targets, 138 and 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, 18 carries, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns with 8 catches for 67 yards and a 41-6 win over the Patriots. I mean, this is my dream outcome, Dre. This is the greatest thing I've ever read.
Frame it, and it comes true. Frame it, touch it, and it comes true. Oh, baby, how good would that be? Except I want to just change the score. Let's just add another digit. Make it 51 so we have a burger. Burger. All right, Billy, you're used to 50 burgers, Billy. On the other end now.
Steven writes in, Fireman Ed is all of us in one body. I feel like I'm listening to myself on here. Spot on.
Well, I appreciate it, Steve. You know what? I'm on it, and I'm thankful that I'm able to represent the Jet fan base. It only comes from the heart. I always tell people, if you know me, you may not like me. I don't know why you don't like me, but if you knew me and you hung out with me, you wouldn't think like that. Because this is real. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get.
I can confirm you are awesome to hang out with. In fact, this was one of the coolest moments I've had, as a Jet fan. I got to try on the Fireman Ed helmet at the Bears game last year.
Love it. That was great. It was great to see your father, and we had a good time at your tailgate. Then we had a good time at our tailgate. It was a great day all around. I mean, then we smacked the Bears around. It was good. It was great.
It was tremendous. Now, I got to ask you about this because my dad, I'll put the picture back on the screen. He's watching right now. We had the honor of taking part in a game day tradition with you that you do before every home game. Can you tell the audience all about that?
Yeah, well, what happened was my brother Frankie got season tickets in 1975, 74, and I was 15. I played football for College Point, home of champions in New York City, College Point, Queens. And I was playing the game, and he says, listen, give Dad your equipment, run down College Point Boulevard, go over the Flushing Bay Bridge. He says, we're under the Grand Central by the Circle. You ever been over to the old Shea Stadium? The Circle's still there at Citi Field. And underneath the Grand Central Parkway, my brother was tailgating with all his boys. Now, my brother's, to give you an idea, my brother was 7 years older than me. So he's 22. Okay, so he had all his boys with him. So I go over my first Jet game. He goes, come on, you come to the Jet game. I have season tickets. Come on. I want you to come. I said, all right. So I go. I go over. As soon as I get there, he hands me a little shot of Irish Mist. He says, you want one? I says, sure. He goes, I drink it, take a shot with his friends. He said, you like that? I said, yeah. He goes, you want another one? I said, yeah. He goes, don't tell Mom. I said, no, I won't. So I had another one. Obviously, we had some fun. Would get done with the game. He says to me, "You want to come back?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, you come every game." And that was it. My brother, I told you my brother died September 8th this year. So I honor Frankie we've been doing it for 50 years. This is our 50th year. This will be our 50th year of season tickets this year. So I always tradition. I told you, Jake, with your father, that when you come to my tailgate, that's a tradition. You have an Irish mist. And we do it for the Jets. We do it as a tradition. But now, moving forward, I do it more so, even more so. It gets to my heart because it's for my brother, Frankie.
Well said. So it was an honor to take part in that tradition with you. And
Awesome.
I was there with my brother as well. He loved it.
Yes.
I mean, it
Yes.
was awesome, man. I've done some cool things in my career.
Give your
right up
father,
there.
my brother, my regards. Great family.
I'll tell you, my dad's watching, and earlier we were talking about the older Jet fans. He wants you to know that he lies about his age, so he doesn't consider himself an older Jet fan.
Good for you. Good for you, Stevie. Good for you. I'm with you. The number doesn't mean anything. It's how you feel right here.
Man, you feel on the inside like you're 25 years old, Fireman Ed. I mean, you got all the energy to bring it this season. I cannot wait.
I thank the Lord for that. And really, honestly, Jake, it's guys like you, the young guys, the young blood, even younger than you, that just make me, I'm so hungry. They keep me so hungry because I see the love that all of the fans have, whether, from a very young age to an older age, women, children, men, kid, everybody, they just love the Jets. And I'm honored to be able to lead the Jet chant and to get to know all the people, because that's what it's all about. And I know the hunger that this fan base has. And I believe that we just took a major step to where we all want to be, which is raising the Lombardi trophy. And hopefully we can get the greatest thing that could happen for us, Jake, this year would be the journey to go through our house, home field throughout the playoffs for the first time. That's what I said to Aaron Rodgers. In my Instagram, you've seen that. I said to him, the mission is to stack wins. Get home field throughout the playoffs. The Jet fans will do the rest. We will proceed to Vegas, where there will be a majority, 80%, 90% of that. I don't care who we're playing. It don't matter, because New York, New Jersey, the metropolitan area the country, they're showing up. The Jet fans are showing up. And we'll take over and we'll raise that Lombardi as one. Oh, there'll be a lot of tears. There'll be a lot of tears, my
Oh, man.
A lot of tears. And I told my wife, she goes, well, there's no sense in making any plans for vacations, because if we win a world championship, you're going to be tied up for at least, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. I said, I'm going to need a vacation after that.
You're the absolute best, Fireman, and I cannot thank you enough for coming on. And I believe I'll be seeing you in person, not at MetLife, but over the summer, before we get to MetLife, before we even get to the loudest Jets chant of all, in Canton, to watch our guy Darrelle Revis and Joe Klecko, rightfully so, be inducted together into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That is going to be a party for the Jet fans. Canton might as well. We're just taking over Canton, because New York is showing up. Listen, the Jet fans are showing up in Canton. You know that, Jake. You're going to show up in mass. Never mind, we're playing the game against the Browns. So it's going to be wild. And that's when the party starts. Darrelle Revis and Joe Klecko will lead us we'll go from the past to the present to the future, all in one weekend. It's going to be fabulous. That's when the journey started, when I told you, but it continues. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Fireman Ed, kind enough to join us here on the Jake Asman Show. Ed, you are the absolute best. I'm so glad we could get you on the show. I wanted to wait until the deal was done, the draft happened, because I wanted to talk about all of it with you. You're my guy forever, and I can't thank you enough for coming on the show.
I had a great time, Jake. You're the best. Your family's the best. All the best to you. And you're going big places, my friend. Big places. This is just the start. All the best, pal. Let's raise that Lombardi together, but we'll talk again. All
The
the
great Fireman Ed has been our guest. We want to thank him again for coming on the show. That's going to do it. Jet fans, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe button on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll have more content for you coming throughout the week. Thanks again to the legend, the GOAT, Fireman Ed, for joining our show, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good day, everybody.